Hey there, I'm Matt Haville, this is Riotvan to Campervan, and this is the van that started it all.
I'm pretty pleased with the van as it is so far, but let's be honest, it could be better. There's a few stylistic choices I just rolled with as the work guided me, but they need to be fixed. Building off the work we've done so far in the van, it's time to take it to the next level. We're going to undo and redesign, building what we've made so far, and I'm going to go for a more modern look.
So we end up in a 1 step forward, 40 step back scenario, where I wasn't quite happy with how the van was turning out. So with the power of undoing about 300 screws, many Jubilee clips, and quite a few electrical bits, we now have an empty van once again. This is heartbreaking, obviously, but it's a necessary move. We need to do this to be able to make a solid van, because a solid van must have solid foundations. And so all this new shed, which I spent forever building, is suddenly full of crap for days and days and days.
I built a workshop, more on that to come later on the channel, but for now it will just about fit a police riot van in there. We repainted all the wall to a bright white rather than a fluorescent blue. We put some carpet lining on the wheel arches to smarten them up, and we laid down 50 individually measured laminate floorboards for a more hard-wearing floor. One of the biggest things I'm glad I redesigned is these fold-up cupboards. I spent quite a while getting them to fit right, drilling, screwing, installing tiny little button latches, but unfortunately they rotate in where you're sitting and are very hard to access on a day-to-day. So,
right, I'm a little Gumtree fiend, so I found these furniture boards on Gumtree. £0, and they're quite nice quality. Like, they need a little bit of stitching on the side, but these to make a quite good van. And because I'm very much a gremlin boy, I have so many of these.
Luckily within that collection were 6 boards as a perfect fit for under the bed frame. So we measure up, drill, add some cute little button latches back on, and now have a singular cupboard that rotates down to close off this heater space. I then created some boxes on sliders which just pull out very smoothly. Great for dumping clothes into. For my first attempt at redoing the countertops, I borrowed a thicknesser from my very kind uncle and broke down 30 pallets into very clean pieces of wood. PVAing these together, clamping and weighing them down, I left these over for the night. Coming back in the morning, I made a realisation.
Now, I've had a thought overnight. I really like this pattern of this. It looks exactly how I want it to look. However, in terms of structural strength, this is going to be pretty low. So I'll have to reinforce it with a board across here just to make sure it doesn't all come apart. But I'm not sure I can use this design for all my main counters, as it will probably destroy itself. Although that is quite nice. And surprisingly solid. More research needed.
We are definitely going to need something stronger for these large countertops than this PVA section. It was a fun experiment, but back to serious matters. I got a massive piece of MDF board for the main base, cut to size, and then cleaned up the edges with an electric planer. We're then laying down more of the laminate boards I used for the floor by gluing them straight on. I'll tidy up the edges that show with some iron-on edge trim. This laminate has already proved itself to be super tough wearing and matches the floor perfectly. Fresh countertops are expensive. A colour match countertop is about £500 for the amount I need, so this £90 workaround got me to where I needed to be. As we'll be cutting out sections for the hob and sink, we don't even need to cover the board completely. Jigsawing out these sections and ruining 3 jigsaw blades along the way, we can then slot these directly into our van.
Right. Quite a bit has changed since I last saw you. So, we've got sink, hob, gas locker, water tank, then we got our water pumping system just here, leading up through wires. And there's quite a few pipe connections all the way back down here to the gas boiler. This mess of wiring I've somehow got to turn into a fully functioning campervan. It's like coming back to a project after quite a while and trying to remember how the madness fits together. But there is fire.
always good first sight.
The fridge was hard to access when it was underneath the bed space before, and thusly I decided to make it a feature piece instead, and build it directly into the frame. Securing it down, and with a cupboard door on there, it looked quite fancy in the end, secured down with the laminate surrounds all around it, and easily accessible.
Right now, after all the footage I've captured while making this van, the only footage I don't have is the finished product. I went a little bit insane towards the end, I stopped recording. But we do have the photos I used to sell the van when I eventually sold it. So let's take a quick little montage tour of that. We have hob, sink, both fully working, both draining out, 60 litres of water storage. We have a pump system with accumulator underneath, leading off to a boiler, which can heat up water for a shower or the sink using propane from the gas locker. We have 3 little pull-out bins, which you can just use to chuck clothes down in there. They run on rollers, they're quite tidy. We have a separate storage area for the El Basto heater, just because you can't put a pull-out drawer there with the pipe ducting going through. We have a built-in fridge with ice tray section, which runs off the leisure battery, which either charges through driving, or you can plug it in externally and it will just charge up the batteries as well. We have a fully movable table system, which can just rotate out the way to allow you access all the way down the van, or provide tabling for, I've had 6 people in there, all eating and playing cards. A quite generous bench system that then collapses down into a bed. All with curtains, all very private. I'm very proud of the work I put into this van. It had come up looking fantastic. And considering where even a video ago it was looking, this was a true test of love to get me to this point. And this is the van pretty much completed. It's been a damn good van for the last 2 years. I've learnt a lot while working on it, but it's time for it to go. And it's gonna go, it's gotta go with a bang. So, go van, go, go! That was unnecessary, but the van needed to go out with a bang, and what better way to do that than driving it off a cliff. It has been an absolute pleasure to make these videos. I've got more in the works. I've got making this barn space with Ben again. I've got my current camper van, which is Little Citron Dispatch. I'm making a full animated series for that. Stick around and watch those. They're going to be fantastic. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to everyone who's helped. I've been Matt Haville. Have a good day.